Hello folks, welcome along to the channel. My name is the Custard Prophet and we are back here for a new Football Manager 2022 series. It is World Cup stories and we are going to be starting off our World Cup stories with England. Yes, of course, because I'm English. Essentially the premise of this series is that we are going to be playing in the Qatar World Cup with a bunch of different teams. Yes, I know we're late in the cycle, but we FM23 still got about a month and a bit to go, so I'm sure we can get at least a couple of teams done. I might go into the beta period with this as well. I am going to be using Dodgy Gamer's Real World Cup mod, so that's all the correct teams, all the correct locations or where the matches are, all the correct fixtures and their dates. Everything is spot on. If you are interested in getting hold of that mod, then there is a link down below in the details. You can find a link to both Dodgy Gamer's Steam page where you can find the downloadable file, but also there's a Passion for FM page on this mod, which tells you exactly how to upload it. So both are incredibly important and useful. Okay, so in this first episode, we are not going to be playing any games of football. No, we're just going to have a look at the squad and we are going to be having a look at the tactic that we've implemented. These episodes are going to be short, snappy things. So, squad. Goalkeeper is, well, there wasn't really much to go with apart from what we have picked. Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, Aaron Ramsdale. I think beyond that, pickings are very, very slim, and even that, we haven't really got the best options in terms of goalkeepers. So we've got three decent goalkeepers, but there's nothing world class in there, which is a little frustrating. In terms of our right backs, well, obviously we've got Trent, who is going to be very, very important, and we've gone with Reece James over Kyle Walker, and that was one of the big decisions that I needed to make. Kyle Walker is faster than Reece, but I think Reece is more technically able, better cross on him, and I felt that perhaps we'd get a little bit more out of a 22-year-old than having a 31-year-old warhorse who has, you know, got a lot of baggage in his closet. So let me know, would you have brought Kyle along, or would you have gone with Reece James? On the left side, we've got Ben Chilwell and Luke Shaw. Again, this side, it's not a huge amount of options there, but I think there's two pretty decent players. I think Ben Chilwell is a great option, actually. I think he will do very well. Luke Shaw, hit and miss, really. He did very, very well in the last international tournament, didn't he? But yeah, since then he's kind of dropped off a little bit in terms of quality. At centre-back position, again, we could have brought in Harry Maguire, but he is slower than a post box. He's, you know, having him on the bench and bring him on, I don't see what advantage you'd have there. I mean, the Italians had a very good system of using very old defenders, but it worries the heck out of me. And this is really the problem position. So we've got John Stones, who is been overrated all of his life. Joe Gomez, who I think is a very, very good player, but you know, there's been a lot of injuries in his life. Ben White, who's kind of come through in the last few years at Arsenal, decent player, and Tomori, who's moved to Milan, seems to have opened up the chances of getting first team football. So it's four decent centre backs, but I think this is really the area where we are a little bit weak, and the better sides in this World Cup will be looking to exploit that centre-back position. So yeah, that's where we are there. It's also worth saying Declan Rice can play in those positions, but that's not why he's been brought in the team. In terms of central midfielders, at least the sort of more defensive one, as I say, we've got Declan Rice, we've got Jude Bellingham, we've got James Ward-Prowse and Jordan Henderson. I think that's a decent sort of selection. Obviously, Ward-Prowse is there for purely his free kick taking, someone really important to have on the bench just to chuck on towards the end of the game if you need a free kick and you're just struggling to get the chances. So that, he's certainly really that. Henderson is, an obvious pick. Even at his age, he is such a quality player. And there are others there that you might have picked, but I went with Rice and Bellingham. And hopefully that is the right decision. Would you have gone with those, or would you have looked elsewhere? In terms of attacking midfielders, we've got a really good selection, I think, and there's plenty of others that you could potentially have chosen. You've got the likes of Raheem Sterling, who, love him or hate him, he does provide a hell of a threat, and he's certainly going to be right in there. Phil Foden, I think, again, a big threat. But then you look elsewhere in that, the likes of Jack Grealish, the ability that lad's got, certainly worth a place in the side, and you can play all the way across the attacking midfield positions. Marcus Rashford, he can play up top, but he's also very comfortable playing a little bit further back as well. Mason Mount, probably more through the centre, but he can play on either side. Jadon Sancho, again, very effective player down the wings, and of course Jared Bowen. But he was I couldn't not pick him. Him going to the World Cup is a wonderful story. So yes, I've got Jared Bowen there. Oh, I've forgotten Bukayo Saka, who's a brilliant attacking midfielder for Arsenal, and again did really well, I thought, in the last international tournament that England were in. So I think we've got some great players who not only can play in attacking midfield, but a bunch of those can play a little bit higher up the pitch as well if we need them. Up front, well, we are going to be playing at one up front, and Harry Kane will be our pivot around which everything else happens. I know that's really boring because that's what happens in real life, but when you've got a player of that quality, why would you change that? And you don't really have the options behind him, in my opinion. We've gone with Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Tammy Abraham as his backup, but I don't see anywhere else an option that would make me want to pick them over Harry Kane. So Harry Kane it is. So, do you agree with the team? Or if not, what would you change about it? Right, tactics. What have we gone for? Well, we have gone for this formation, so 4-2-3-1 formation, which I think works really well with the players we've got. I think the biggest strength we have is in the attacking part of the pitch, so I'd like to have a few more players there. We've got some decent players who can offer a shield behind that. The likes of high energy players like the likes of Henderson and Rice, who will be playing just behind them as shown. And the area of most worry, I suppose, is at the back. But I think we've got some good players in there. The likes of Chilwell will do a good job. Alexander-Arnold on the right side will do a good job. So maybe we make the most of those, certainly in a forward position, but I think at the back as well. And hopefully we can find a partnership at the back which really works well in the centre, and get the goalkeeper right, because I think all three goalkeepers are about at the same level. So what have we done? Tactically, well, we have basically got a gegenpress tactic which we've just customised a little bit. In terms of the positions, I've altered a few of those around. So as you can see, we've got Harry Kane playing as a complete forward, and Mason Mount will be behind him as a shadow striker. I think the shadow striker is a really nice role in this game, so we'll be playing with that. Not sure yet whether we'll be going for the inside forward or playing with wingers, but I think if we're playing with wing backs, it makes sense for our wider forward players to be a little bit inside, so the likes of Arnold and Chilwell can bomb on past them and be take part in the attacking play. In terms of team instructions, I haven't done an awful lot there. I have gone for be more expressive because I want this team to be a little bit more expressive than that, but you can see what we've got here. We'll probably be toggling on an offshoot on site as and when we need it. We've got a lot of players with decent long shots, so we might want to use that. We are playing pretty narrow. I think we might want to be maybe playing a little bit more wide than this, and we'll see how that works when we play in the proper game. And we are basically as high up the pitch as we can be. But again, I might tweak that, because often it seems to work quite nicely when you've got a little bit of room to run into. But with Harry Kane, that's not what he's doing. It's the wide players around him where we need to make that happen. Anyway, so that's the tactics. Is that what's your go-to tactic when you play with England? Really interested to find out. In terms of what we've done so far, well, I did put a friendly in, and you were supposed to be seeing this, but I didn't actually have any sound on the video, so I've had to record this again. So yeah, it was an 8-0 mauling, and you can see we got some great performances across the board. So Iraq are a poor team, we acknowledge that, but this win will give us a bit of confidence. It's given Harry Kane a couple of goals, which is important, but we've also had goals all the way through the team. So that's that. We're going to be coming back very, very shortly for our first game, which will be against Wales. It's an important one. Looking at the rest of the fixtures, I think the game against Iran, we would expect to win that. Wales is going to be hard. They are going to be up for this game, and we need to be on our mettle. The USA, Wales and the USA are potential banana skins, and what we don't want to do is get knocked out of this group, because that would be a bit embarrassing. I'm going into this group pretty confident, and I feel we can qualify top of the group, but you just never know what FM's going to do to you. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. It wasn't too long, hopefully. All these videos are going to be short, snappy, and just one game in length. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're enjoying this sort of content, check out some of the other stuff on the channel. And make sure you subscribe to ensure you don't miss any of this series coming up or any of the other content that I post. Hit the notification bell as well. Rarely remember to say that. And I'll see you for our game against Wales. Wish me good luck. We'll need it.